News Channel 7. Time for 7 First Alert weather.
Snow is limiting visibility across many areas in southern Idaho, including this view from Boise. You can see on the freeway there, we've got the headlights shining into that snow, and so you can see how it might be a little bit tricky driving right now. But for now, the roads do look to be clearing of some of that snow, though there is more on the way. You can see wherever the radar shows up in its brightest white, so you can see as we go closer to eastern Oregon, that's where we're going to expect those higher snow rates. And so we have a lot more moisture coming on the way, but you can see it has been moving a little bit more to the north and lightly snowing over towards Cascade and McCall right now. So here's the track of that moisture. You can see again making its way from the coast, and so that's why we are expecting to continue to see snow throughout much of this evening. And so this is where we stand right now. Based on this model data, we expect the intensity to increase throughout valley areas in the next 2 hours or so. Then the bulk of this moisture will move to the east, so then areas in the Magic Valley and Central Mountains will see some of this higher intensities later in the evening. Then we see the snow continue to taper off while we still see a few lingering lighter showers as we go into the early morning hours of Sunday. So we may even be waking up to more snowfall, but you can see otherwise staying pretty dry for the most part. And I mentioned how some of the roads looked like the snow was moving off the roads, and part of the reason for that is because it's really dry snow, so it's a little more on that powdery side, so it's easier for it to move out of the roadway when a car is passing over it. And part of the reason for that is because of the cold temperatures. So when we get into the temperatures that we have right now, it changes our snow ratio. So even if it's the same amount of water, we can get very different snow totals just based on the temperature. So because it's a powdery snow, I made a little bit of a pros and cons list for us to break down some of the differences with that. So the pros are that, again, it blows away on the roads whenever the cars drive over it. It's easier to clean off your car, and the skiers and snowboarders do really like that kind of snow, the fresh powder, shred in the pow. And so the cons are that it can be very icy and slippery when it's compacted, and it does hide ice patches underneath it. It's also bad for snowball making and igloo making. I know my mom made us an igloo at one point on one of our family trips. Very fun. But we are expecting the snow to continue to stack up. So these are still the totals that we are expecting, the ranges for some of those valley locations. Broadly, 5 to 8 inches of snow in valley locations. We could see some isolated totals that are higher. And again, the Boise Mountains are going to be more favored in this particular setup, while other mountain areas see lighter of those snow totals. So we still have winter storm warning and winter advisory in place. So because of that, we'll still see some difficult driving conditions. And after all this snow, we will still see that brutal cold, and you can see that in our morning low temperatures that we're expecting. So for tomorrow, again, the snow will be tapering off. Very cold air is behind it in its place, and so it still will be feeling very wintry for you. We're not expecting big changes right after this, but it will continue to be on the cold side. You could see the highs just making it into the 20s in valley locations and the teens for some of the lows in valley locations. Mountains will be expecting some temperatures below zero, and the wind chills could be dangerous as well, but you can see that cold sticking around throughout much of your 7-day forecast before we warm up around midweek.